Well, hello friends. My name is Tyler and welcome back to another series of practices with Vineyard Covington. I'm walking around my neighborhood and I heard a story about an Amish man who was once asked, "Are you a Christian?" And he turned and he pointed at the house next door to him and he said, "To answer that question, you'd have to ask my neighbor." Now, I love this story because it gets to the fact that what we do, how we live, actually says a lot more about what we believe than what we just think and what we say. It's actually what we do and how we love that really reveals what's going on in our hearts. So when Jesus was asked, what's the most important commandment in all of the Bible, he said this: the greatest commandment is to love God with everything that we have. And a second one that is equally important is to love our neighbors as ourselves. So Jesus equates all of the Bible, all of the laws down to love. Loving God and loving our neighbor. And so we are going to practice being good neighbors. If Jesus said it's the most important thing, then we should probably spend some time thinking about it, being intentional about learning how to do it. And the good news is, I believe that every one of you already knows how to do this. You know how to do everything it takes to be a good neighbor. We just have to get intentional and actually put it into practice. So when you think about your neighbors, if you were to close your eyes and picture the houses that are surrounding you, maybe you're in an apartment and there's different units around you, what do you know about the people who live right next door to you? Do you know their names? Do you know anything about what they're going through in life? Maybe what their hopes or their dreams are about? If not, that's okay. Unfortunately, that's actually really normal. Maybe you've lived in a place for 10 years and you've never met your neighbors. This happens all the time because everything in our culture and our society is built towards privacy and individualism. And we have our man caves and our she sheds and we go to our homes as a retreat from the rest of the world. But I wonder if we might be missing out on this really simple but powerful teaching of Jesus that has the ability to transform our own hearts and our lives, our relationships, but also our neighborhoods, our cities. I was at a meeting this week with some city officials, and there were some people that work for the Center for Great Neighborhoods. And I asked them, what do you think it takes to be a good neighbor? What's just a really practical thing? And all of the answers that they gave were simply about having awareness for the people around us. Do you know your neighbors? Do you look out for them? Do you talk to them? And so to start this practice series off, we're going to do just that. We are going to learn our neighbors' names because it's a lot easier to love someone when you know their name. Once you learn your neighbors' names, they start to become real people to us, real people going through real things, and then you can develop relationship and it can go from there. But we want to start with just the basics. What is my neighbor's name? What is it going to take for you this week to learn your neighbor's name? You might have to introduce yourself. You might have to do something, be outside, go on the front porch. Maybe it means baking some brownies and taking it over to your neighbor. Maybe you wheel up their trash can for them. But what can you do to learn your neighbors' names? So practice that with us this week, and we'll talk about it more as we go. All right, peace.